Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm For Classic and welcome to BenchART. So for today what I do have in here, it is the Falconeer, a game developed by Thomas Sala, and it is using Unity engine. And you might be asking yourself, Thomas Sala, what the hell? Is that a guy or a full team? Well, it's only a guy. Alright, it's only a guy that was able to develop this entire game as it is. And that's quite really awesome. As a developer myself, not of this game, not of any game, but as a main developer on my life, this is, oh shit, this is too much. Alright, so let's take a look on the settings. This is what you are here for. And this is my recommended settings for playing this game on the GT 740M or the GT 920M or the GT 825M. All of these three are similar cards. My recommendation it is to play at 720p using low settings. And well, you might be looking to the requirements and you might see that the minimum requirements for the game it is an E3, an Intel E3 or an AMD equivalent, 2 GB of RAM, and they also say as a minimum that you need a GTX 660 or an AMD Radeon HD 6770. So all these minimum requirements are superior to what we have. So I'm not really sure what Thomas Sala wanted to say about the minimum requirements, if it was 1080p 60 or not, I don't really know. But what I do know is that at 720p using the low settings, my experience was above 60 frames per second no matter what. So at 720p low, I got an average of 80 frames per second with the 1% low of 67. If you want something in between the 45 to 60 frames per second, you can go with median settings. And if you want the maximum settings, unfortunately, the average it is around 30s, but it does drop below 30 from time to time. So my recommended settings, it is to stay above 60. Since this is a dogfighting game and it requires you to have a good frame rate to perform well on the game, my recommendation it is really the low settings. But honestly, if you don't care too much about the 60s, you can go with medium, just fine at 1366 per 768, so 768p essentially. So that's the performance that you can expect for the Falconeer. I think it is pretty good because for the most part my experience with Unity engine and this graphic card never was good. Was never good, alright? It was always very bad. Very bad performance overall. And this is probably the only game, or one of the only games where Unity performs well on a GT 740M. So I'm quite surprised with the performance on that regard, and especially because it is at display near volumetric clouds, water reflections, water waves, there is a lot of stuff going on, including day and night cycle, and still the graphic card can hold it just fine at low settings. Alright, so now that I've talked a little bit about the performance, what is this game, the Falconeer? So the Falconeer, it is a game that it is pretty much focused on dogfighting. You also have this beautiful open world with a lot of water and small islands, but for the most part the focus it is dogfighting, and it is set in a fantasy open world with very good graphics, which is quite surprising again that this was all done by one single guy. I can't really stop giving big props to Thomas Sala, so very good job, man, if you're watching this video. Although aside from dogfighting and exploring the world and finding some monuments scattered throughout the game world, which kind of gives you an incentive to explore the game world, you won't be doing much more than that. So the only disappointing part, it is really that. I think the game it is rather acceptable. And again, despite Thomas Sala deserves everything because of what he was able to do by himself in Unity while being fully optimized with a lot of high-end features like volumetric clouds, day and night cycle, wave simulation, and it is pretty much bug-free. Although there are some stuff that it isn't working pretty well, like for example mouse and keyboard control. So I highly suggest you to play on a gamepad, which it makes entirely sense for the type of game that this is. So I don't think that it is a huge problem, although we are on PC and I know that there is a lot of people out there that don't have gamepads. So according to Steam users, this game can get pretty boring after 30 minutes because you already have seen everything that the game have to offer. And because of that, I think that the price, it is a little bit too steep. So the game costs $29.99. It's pretty much 30 bucks. Probably the game deserves the money. Again, Thomas Sala clearly deserves the money for his work, but you know, for the game itself, it's a little bit arguable. So it's just my opinion, alright? I think that's $29.99 for the game itself. It is a little bit too steep, so unless you are really into dogfighting, into a fantasy world, it can make sense, alright? But apart from that, I don't really see $29.99 as a good price for the game. I do see for the work that Thomas Sala have done himself, yes, but for the rest, well, it might be more of the same. But the decision, it is fully up to you. I think that actually what he was able to accomplish, it is great, and on the technical part of the game, you won't be disappointed with what this game have to offer graphically and everything. But yes, exploration and stuff like that, it leaves a little bit to be desired, but yeah, $29.99, it is not a full AAA price, so yeah, it's fully up to you guys. So thank you a lot for watching, hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video, which is not much left, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Clear. Let's head back to Dunkel.
Shrine of the Sark. The drowned son was swallowed by a giant sark. He crawled up to its ear and asked why he had been swallowed. The sark replied, "Because in my belly you will be safe. Nowhere will your splinters be safer. There is no creature that would dare eat me. But I do not want to remain in your belly," the brother said. "But that is not true," the sark said. "If your kin buries you, you end up in my belly. If you fall from the sky, you end up in my belly. If your ship sinks, you end up in my belly. My belly is the only place you can be."
Good work. You were instrumental in taking out that pirate trash.